Generally speaking, we're paying a lot more battle value, 2 to 1, when we jump into the clans. That's kind of the first thing where when I jumped into the clans and started really playing them, Inner Sphere for a long time, and we're doing like 8K, 12K battle value, right? Solid combined arms. That kind of became the standard. Like if we had an afternoon to play, it was 8K. If we had a little bit longer, it was 12K or 9K, somewhere in between there, 10K battle value. We jump into the clans. I have no idea what the heck's going on, what the heck's happening. Get some clan mechs, start building stuff, run the calculations, figure out the variants that I like, and we're going to play 8K battle value. So I've got Jade Falcon ready to go. I put down my 8K list, and I'm like, there's not a lot here. I barely got a star down. Like I wanted some battle armor. I want more tanks. I wanted a lot of great stuff from there. They get some interesting VTOLs also that kind of the opposite side complement Karnovs and Warriors. But that's the first thing that you look at. You're going to be paying a lot more battle value, but you've got better weapons. You've got faster machines. You can clear heat faster. You've got some targeting computers. You've got some nice tech, but you're paying for it. So I say that within this framework, we're looking at the Warhawk. This is an assault mech. This is maximum. It's over 3K battle value. That's one machine. And I'm not saying it's not worth it, but we're trying to get at a minimum a star down on the table. So it's this kind of calculation matrix where if a clan heavy mech is the equivalent to an Inner Sphere assault mech, a clan assault mech is off that chart. It's a lot more. I need to be earning the battle value. This framework is very, very important. The Warhawk is a command mech, or Assault is a command mech. I'm not hanging back. I'm not taking a couple of shots. It's not an anchor point. Like, no, it is up there, advancing, issuing challenges against these Desgro mech warriors. And every turn, after turn one, because turn one we're moving into position if I'm playing on hex maps, I need to be shooting at things every single turn. And I need to be up there utilizing this effectively. That is the mindset because we're paying so much more. So the Warhawk itself is interesting. Its primary weapons platform is 4 ER PPCs. And then we've got a long-range missile 10-pack, which seems a little off because you're looking at this and you're like, well, it's primarily an energy boat. It's kind of like the Nova Cat, right? But then we add on the missiles and, well, that seems a little off, right? I mean, and there's a lot of variants. Maybe just drop the missiles and add in some more armor, add in some more heat, add in something else, and move away from that. We've also got the targeting computer that we're going to explore. But the missiles complement this machine very, very well. Now, I want to say on a side note, you're playing Inner Sphere. You're looking for any excuse you can find to purchase more miniatures. And you're like, well, look, I'm doing Inner Sphere, but Fritz is talking about this clan stuff, and he's got some other clan stuff up there on the Battletech playlist, so it's his fault. I'm jumping into clans. It's familiar tech, but it's different tech. Going back to the first time I was playing this mech, I'm on autopilot, right? Most of the time, I'm pretty good about making Battletech calculations in my mind. I've got my printed out cheat sheets and to look at things, my Battletech screen for when I need it, but for the most part, I'm crunching those numbers in my head. The first time I played the Warhawk, I'm on autopilot, so I'm firing this thing as if they're regular PPCs. And a couple of turns in where I'm like, wait a second, these are clan weapons. And this is ER stuff. Like, okay, I've been shorting myself. I've been like firing with 300, 400, 500 less battle value every single turn. So you want to utilize the power of these PPCs and to be aware if you make that jump from Inner Sphere to clans, it's the same tech, but it's different tech. So what I'm looking to do, turn one, modified by mission a little bit, get into position. Usually with the Warhawk, if we're playing on a hex map, I want to look to kind of dominate the center of the hex map because from the center of the hex map, I have a radius out. I can attack stuff ahead of me. I can attack stuff to the left. I can attack stuff to the right. If it's a bigger hex map or things are kind of spread out, if it's a kind of a mid-sized gaming table, if I'm over on a flank, yes, I'm protecting that flank, refused flank, right? If I move to the right side of the table and I'm on the right side of the table, that's a right side refused flank, which means you have to approach me straight on or from the left. you can't attack me from the right. I mean, generally speaking, you can drop some artillery, or if you're playing with air support, have it strafe and come in on that side. Those are optional rules. Let's put that aside. We're just looking pure hex map. Refused flank protects you. But what this means now, of course, is when I fire back, if someone's on that left side, my left side, they might be out of range. With the Warhawk and similar machines that have this, I want to be in the center because I want to be able to fire everything out. I'm going to have some support stuff. I'm going to be aware of things. That's generally where I like to deploy, where I like to be. Now, we're going to fire those PPCs. We're going to push the heat. That's massive amount of damage. First, I've got the targeting computer. And unlike Luke, I never switch it off. I'm just looking in the beginning to fire and not utilize it. I'm looking to hit you as best as I can. So I issue an order. I issue a challenge. We're engaged with a mech. I'm just looking to hit you. Maybe I'll hit you left torso, maybe left arm, maybe leg. I'd love to get you in the legs. We're trying to just see those first like turn or two of shooting. What areas am I going to start to weaken? We talk about this idea of good damage and bad damage in Battletech. This is my definition. If I'm receiving it, right? If I'm receiving it, giving it's reversed. Good damage for me is, well, yes, I want to do my best never to get hit in the first place, but good damage for me is I take a hit to the leg, I take a hit to the left torso, I take a hit to the center torso, I take a hit to the right arm. I'd rather not get hit anywhere, but the damage has been spread out based on the random rolls. Bad damage for me is left leg hit, right torso hit, left leg hit. Well, now I've taken 3 hits, and even if I'm a stalker with lots of armor on that left leg and that one extra armor bubble, I think it's on the left or on the right leg, but I just took 3 hits to the leg. It doesn't matter what armor I have, that spot is weak. My opponent can exploit that. If it was the arm, they'd look to exploit that. If it's the right torso, they'd look to exploit that. Obviously, center torso has the most, and head is just a lucky shot. So in the beginning, with that Warhawk, I've got those 4 PPCs. I'm firing those. I'm looking to see, can I hit a spot 2 or 3 times with it? I'm transferring massive amount of damage if I hit you. If you're playing with the expanded rules, that's going to be a pilot check because I'm hitting you a lot in one turn. We'll see what happens pushing that out. Now, once I've weakened an area, I mean, the Warhawk just chews through machines like crazy. Once I've weakened an area, I engage the targeting computer, and I try and target that area. At this point, and I explored yesterday, pushed up to the channel, targeting computers. So if you're coming into this vlog sometimes later, you can find the targeting computer Tactica on the Battletech playlist. But I do want to touch on it a little bit because the Warhawk, it's perfectly suited. And this is just the stock variant, right? There's a lot of different variants. What I'm looking to do with the targeting computer is now I can declare where I want to hit you or try to hit you. And, of course, I can't declare the head for game balance issues because then everyone would just headhunt. But what I can do is, with that targeting computer, it stacks on an additional penalty to shoot, almost like I'm jumping every turn on top of moving. So from that perspective, because I'm trying to hit a specific spot, I want to cut down my modifiers. So I'm moving around. I'm doing the usual mech stuff. I'm firing. Once I start to really weaken an area on your mech, then I want to just stop moving, ideally in a position with some cover. I want to cut down my movement modifier. So instead of a +1, a +2, it's 0. I want to try to bring, even though I've got that ER range to push out, I want to try and be close enough where I don't have that many stacking modifiers from there. So this way, even though I have the penalty of the targeting computer, I'm declaring where I'm shooting, but I brought those modifiers down through other means. With those PPCs, I've got a good shot of hitting that area. Now, once I've broken through, now we start engaging the long-range missiles. Because now it's not about the damage, it's about, can I get something into that damaged spot where there's some components, where there's a weapons system, where there's some ammo ready to cook off on the inner sphere. Trial of Possession's a little bit different, similar tactic, but the clan mechs aren't as vulnerable. But I'm now looking to switch to those long-range missiles to punch through. I'm still going to fire the PPCs, but not as much. So the difference here with the long-range missiles is when I see that on an inner sphere machine, say like the Grasshopper, even though that's a 5-pack, or just a kind of an assault mech, like the Cyclops or the Atlas that has a 20-pack, that's something like as I'm advancing on the way in, as I'm trudging forward, I'm firing stuff off so I could do a little something at long range. And then once I close, I switch to my close the distance, my closer weapons. Warhawk's different. Yeah, on the way in, maybe I'd fire it, but that's generally not the idea because I've got those ERPPCs. I'm staying silent with the long-range missile 10-pack. I'm trying to damage and punch through with the PPCs. Then once I've gotten two internals and I've declared that spot, then I'm going to switch to the long-range missiles and hope I get a good spread, a 2-for-1 shot, a 3-for-1 shot, see how many different areas I can hit utilizing that. So a very, very interesting and potent machine. Drawbacks, vulnerabilities, because there is a pretty significant vulnerability to this machine that if I'm in a sphere, I'm going to look to exploit that. The first obvious we covered that is battle value. You're paying a premium price. You can't be everywhere for everything. The second is, and this is true of all clan mechs, but something with the Warhawk, everything is wrapped up in those arms. I mean, it is an assault mech. You've got good armor, but in every weight class or any weight class in Battletech, the weakest part are the arms. You blow off an arm, I just cut my damage output by half. You blow off my other arm, this is not a zombie mech. I've got the long-range missile 10. There have been times where my Warhawk has been in the mix, and through luck or some skill, my opponent has blown off both arms. At that point, I'm trying to run forward and kick you. I'm trying to charge you. I'm in the mix already. We're not turning back, pushing that way forward. So a little bit of a vulnerability. I got to be careful with not losing my arms as best I can. So pushing that with the Warhawk, it's a lot of fun to play. It's my go-to Jade Falcon command mech. And if you have that timing of how to shoot it, how to switch it, how to use the targeting computer, and then how to use the missiles, you chew through stuff so fast. It's really, really crazy. But that's coming at $3K plus. I think it's 3,100 and something, or a little over 3,000 battle value for one machine.